So you're trying to heal that core wound by trying to get somebody unavailable to love you. You believe that if you just get their acceptance and gain their love, it will all be worth it. Baby girl, that's why you're attracted to the bare minimum. You only ever got crumbs from your caregiver, so crumbs feel like a 5-course meal. And those breadcrumbs are all you think you're worth. Who am I to set such high standards? Am I worthy of more than crumbs? No, I don't think so. You cannot heal yourself through a man or through a relationship, and you most certainly cannot heal through a man who exhibits caregiver behavior. You have to break that attraction, and in this video, I'm going to share exactly how. If you want to take your self-discovery to the next level, check out the workbook in my description box. So you're attracted to the bare minimum, low value, low effort men because that's all you believe that you are worth, but that's says more about you than it does about the men that you're allowing into your life to treat you this way. So many women want to get all bent out of shape about how all men are trash, all men are garbage, and their behavior needs to change, but you're failing to realize that it's you who is attracting these men. There's something within you that is addicted to this kind of behavior that keeps you drawing it back in. We are never concerned about anybody else's behavior on this channel. We are only concerned about our own behavior. So let's get into that. You have to become your own value source. So when you don't feel inherent value within yourself, when you don't think you're worth anything or you're not worth much, you've always been told that you weren't worth anything, you've been shown behavior by other people who prove to you that you don't really mean anything, you start to self-identify with that thought pattern. This is going to make you believe that you can self-actualize through a man, and you cannot. So what you have done is you've placed so much value in him to feed your value of self that his actions are literally make or break for your life. Remove this need and you remove your love for him. But you can only truly get there when you have your own frame. If you're constantly operating outside of your frame and you don't even have a frame and you're within somebody else's frame of life and their point of reference in life, you will constantly be waiting for them to tell you what to do, how to act, what is acceptable for your life. And this creates such an unstable, wishy-washy sense of self. There is no self-identity. Your self-love becomes fleeting. Your self-esteem, your self-worth is fleeting, and it's dependent on somebody else bringing that to you. A dude says that you're really pretty or whatever, you smile, you feel great in the moment, but then it fades, it goes away, and then the cycle repeats itself. When you get into this cycle, you start attributing your entire being to somebody else, and then this starts to breed a habit of making up stories in your head, fantasizing about what could be, seeing really shitty behavior in front of you, but then ignoring it because you're seeing something different in your mind and you truly believe that that is going to materialize in your reality. It is going to be something someday. It doesn't matter when or how, you continue to stay, you continue to wait, and you continue to plead for that behavior to actually come to fruition. And then when we see in our reality that this imagined expectation and this imagined story is not coming to life, we start to push out this rush of negative energy toward this man. We start to talk about him to our friends. We start to send him text paragraphs. We start to act crazy and beg him and say, why are you treating me like this? You're garbage. You need to work on yourself. And when this happens, you're going to always try to put out little bombs, little games here and there to see where he falls on the scale of biting. So the bait that you throw out in the form of games and testing him, if he bites back, you are now validating yourself and saying, see, he bit back. Okay, he cares. Okay, cool. And then you'll throw out another game to measure if he's biting back and where he is on that. Okay, he's measuring, so he must care. Okay, cool. I can still stay in this situation. We're good. But remember, yeah, he did all of those things, but you let him. That is who he is. He's cool with that behavior. We are not cool with that behavior. You are not cool with that behavior. So why do you keep allowing it? Because you're addicted to bare minimum, low effort men. And to break this addiction, we have to become our own value source. We have to see ourselves as valuable so that nobody else is responsible for that role in our lives. We are the sole provider of value. The key to any healthy relationship is your ability to distance it from your self-worth. You are so concerned and pressed about his actions, where he is, what he's doing, who he's with, because those actions fuel you. You wouldn't be so concerned with his whereabouts and checking on him 24/7 if they didn't impact your life in some sort of way. Because his actions impact your life, impact your sense of self, impact your sense of stability on a day-to-day basis, you care. You of course are going to care because his actions need to be self-serving to you. Because if they're not, your sense of self is all floppy and wonky. So on a day-to-day basis, your main mission is to control what he's doing, because if you don't control what he's doing, then your sense of self is all off and you don't want to feel off. But this feeling that you're feeling, this offness, doesn't have to be dependent on him. It can be dependent on you. You can be the one who chooses to feel off or to not feel off. And then you don't have to worry about what this man is doing. You can just observe him and then just seeing if his actions and his behavior and lifestyle is aligning with your vision and what you want. You don't force somebody else to have the same vision because their vision is feeding yours. When you are dependent on somebody to tell you what you want out of life, but what they're telling you doesn't sit right with you, it's just not aligning and it feels weird and there's a lot of resistance, but you can't do anything about it, you try to control their actions. You try to force them to see a different way. You try to force them to create a reality that they don't want to create. The way this man is behaving, this low effort, bare minimum man is behaving, is in accordance with the way he has set up his life, the way that he wants to set up his life at that moment in time. It is not your job to convince him to want something different. All you have to do is convince yourself that you're worth something different, that you are worthy of going after what you want in your life. And when this happens, you're gonna always try to put out little bombs, little games here and there to see where he falls on the scale of biting. So the bait that you throw out in the form of games and testing him, if he bites back, you are now validating yourself and saying, see, he bit back. Okay, he cares. Okay, cool. And then you'll throw out another game to measure if he's biting back and where he is on that. Okay, he's measuring, so he must care. Okay, cool. I can still stay in this situation. We're good. Now, to find this value within yourself, I'm not going to give you the advice that is often given, which is find a hobby and just get really good at it and just measure your progression and competence with this hobby. And then, you'll find value in yourself because look, you're getting better at it. No, because that is still external. We want to find our value that is just inherent, that is our core essence, just what our energy brings to the world that is valuable inherent. Because finding a hobby and just getting good at it or getting better at it is still measuring your worth based on how good you get at it. So if you fail the hobby, you're not going to feel very valuable. You're going to be like, oh my God, see, I suck at another thing. It's not a very good place to start. And it's also very external. We don't want to focus on external stuff that still has to do with us. It's still being measured based on how good we are at it. We want to locate the inner essence that we have, the inner value that is just there. So I encourage you to source these inherent value points within you and use that as the starting point for cultivating your own value and being your own value source. It's so sad to me that the bare minimum has been so normalized. The bar is gone. It's invisible. We don't know where it is. We can't locate it. That when a man is being just a good man and a genuine man, it is perceived by women as he's creepy, suspicious, what the heck, he's a narcissist, he's love bombing her, how could she be so stupid, look at her getting all this amazing stuff and he's treating her with respect, how dare he, he's awful, he's a narcissist, she has to run, she's stupid. Can she not see through it? That is so crazy to me. We have to start normalizing good behavior, good men, because they're out there and they're normal. And it doesn't mean that every time a man is treating a woman the way she has been deserving of this entire time, that he's creepy and he's a narcissist and we've got to put a hit out on him and put him on like America's Most Wanted. Maybe that woman just has extremely high standards and has kept those standards for herself and for the people in her life. And this man is just meeting those standards. Maybe she is competent and she knows what to look out for and she knows the red flags and she has a connection to her intuition to tell her when something is off. And this man ain't off. He is acting right. He's coming correct. So she is allowing him into her world. She has raised the barriers of entry into her life that when a man comes correct like this, he's a good man because she has all the things in place. And so when you have only experienced bad men, awful men, you see a man being good and you automatically think the worse, you automatically think negative of him and of her. You have to understand that these relationships exist. You are just not experiencing them, one, because you're addicted to bare minimum men. So when you see anything other than that, you are confused. And two, you haven't reached the energetic space to attract this type of men. You are not a magnet for this type of man yet. You can be if you want to. And the first thing to do this is to break your attraction by becoming your own value source. There's no other cheat code to this game other than yourself. You raise the barriers of entry to getting access to you. You provide your own value to yourself. You don't need it from anybody else, so you can objectively observe them without any emotions attached and just see if this man, if this person is a good fit for my life, has an aligned vision, has an aligned lifestyle, and is looking to create a reality the same way that I am looking to do so. Stop trying to make a man fit into your idea of what you want your life to be when he is just not conducting his life that way because you are addicted to the value that he gives you. If you're ready to truly learn how to get princess treatment and attract high value men, watch this video next.